Okay, please navigate to slack.com/pricing. When the page has loaded, please click next. Okay, so the page here has loaded, so I can see that. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. Scroll up and down the page without clicking. What are your initial thoughts on this page? Remember to speak your thoughts out loud. Okay, so as I'm scrolling through the page, this is a pretty typical layout that I've seen before on pricing pages, kind of like that column layout. So my initial thoughts is that this looks pretty familiar for what I've seen from other companies and websites in terms of um, the pricing and all that. Um, it seems like the page it feels a little overly long, so that is one sense that I'm getting from it. And I guess it's a little weird that they have the benefits kind of here, but then they go even deeper over here, which is it's not that it's a bad thing, but could potentially be a little long there. But initially, the page does look to give you pretty good information on what you would be looking for in terms of the product. So that in itself is a good thing. Okay, so I kind of given you there some initial thoughts, so I'm going to go ahead and move on now. Let's take a look at the standard pricing tier. In your own words, what value are you getting from this tier? Okay, so standard, let's look over here. Okay, so it looks like this is for small, medium-sized businesses and 667. So it looks like the benefits here are the full context of your organization's messages to your fingertips, timely info and actions in one place, face-to-face communication with group voice, video calls, secure collaboration. Okay, so it seems to me like the value here is more for basically for teams. It looks like you're able to save the history of your conversations. You're able to have video communications or video conferences, and kind of like a secure way to share files. So it seems to me like this would be really good for teams that tend to communicate a lot in this form or in this matter. So yeah, it seems like that's what you're getting from this tier, and in my own words, what you would be able to do with it. Okay, so I'll move on now. So which features in this here are most important to you? Honestly, I think the one thing that would be really good is the full context of the organization's message history, because it's easily, there can easily be a lot of miscommunication when you're talking to people. So having a way to look at all the conversations that had happened and what was agreed upon can be very useful, especially when you're working on projects. Um, to basically go back and see what was said based on that project or whatever you're working on. So I think that feature right there would be very important, and I think the face-to-face communication would be very important as well, because if there's something that's not being understood basically writing, then you can have a face-to-face conversation to hopefully clear up any doubts that you may have. So I think that those two in particular are probably the ones that would be most important to me. Okay, so which features in this tier are least important to you? I think the timely info and actions probably don't seem that important, honestly. For what I'm reading there, it doesn't really seem to tell me much about what that really means. I mean, timely info and actions, what does that really mean? So I think that that's the one that seems less important to me, just because I'm not even really sure what that means with unlimited integrations. But my question is, what unlimited integrations are you talking about? That third party apps or something like that. So that needs a little more explanation. So I don't think that sounds really important, or I would not have it there. Do you feel that the price is fair? Yeah, I think for small, medium sized businesses, I think 667 a month. I think that's more than fair. I mean, that's not a lot, and the benefits that you get plus the free things that you're getting, yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's a very reasonable price. I don't think I would have an issue paying $6 a month to get all those benefits from the standard. So I think that's good. If not, how much would you expect to pay? If you can make it $5 a month, I think that would be great. Just a little bit lower and just simpler pricing like that instead of the 667. So I think maybe 499 or 550 might be a better price. Just a little bit lower, and still I think that the user will see a lot of great value in that price. Now let's take a look at the plus pricing tier. In your own words, what value are you getting from this tier? Okay, so it looks like you're basically getting everything that you're going to get from the free and the standard. And then you're going to get advanced identity management through sound-based SSO and real-time Active Directory sync. So it looks like you're able to use, logins from these services, single sign-on, so that's good. Compliance requirements met with corporate export for all messages, around-the-clock teamwork, and assistance with 99% guarantee uptime. So it looks like basically you're getting all the features from free and standard, and then you're getting looks like basically you're able to log in with basically company credentials at that point with the SSO login or SSO logins and Active Directory. It looks like you're also getting compliance requirement, meaning that I guess the environment is secure, and then around the clock teamwork. So I guess 24/7 support. So you are getting a lot of good value. I would say for 1250, it seems like that's good value. So that's essentially what I think you're getting. Which features in this tier are most important to you? I really like the first one because in our own company, we use SSO to log into websites and different services. And it's really nice to just have one single login for all these services. So I think that right there would be very useful, especially if you're working at a large enterprise like I work myself. And so that and the 24/7 support for any issues that you might be having, I think are really, really good values to have, especially for a large business. I think for a large business, 1250 would be great. Which features in this tier are least important to you? I guess if I'm going to pick one, it's just because it's the only one that I haven't mentioned is compliance requirements. But even when I see that, that's not necessarily not important. But I guess from this list, that would be the least important one. So that's the reason why, just because it might not really be needed since this is more for communication. So I don't know how necessarily that important that is. What Plus plan features would entice you to upgrade? I think the first one, the advanced identity management, just because, like I said, I work for a large enterprise and having that ability to just have one login instead of different ones can be very helpful. So I think that one in particular is very enticing and would persuade me to potentially upgrade there. Do you feel that the price is fair? Yeah, 1250 is nothing. I mean, when you're in a large enterprise, budgets tend to be bigger, and so I don't think anybody in a large enterprise will have an issue spending 1250 a month for the basically the features and what you're getting here. So yeah, I think 1250 seems fair. I mean, even for a regular user, I think that'd be fine. If not, how much would you expect to pay? Like I said, I think 1250 is fine. If you want to make it 11.99, take out 50 cents. I think that might be a little better. But honestly, I think the for what you're getting for the free standard and this plus 1250, I think that's fine. And like I said, I think a large enterprise business would not have an issue paying that. How many stores does each member receive in the enterprise plan? How many How many storage? Okay, so let's see. Peace of mind with enterprise grade security compliance. Okay, large scale collaboration and alignment with support for up to 500,000 users. So, streamline administration, centralized controls, and customizable policies. Um, Taylor support. So it doesn't seem like it tells you much there. So I'm gonna probably have to go down here and see file storage. Okay, so you get one terabyte per team member. That's the file storage you get for the enterprise. So yeah, that's pretty much what each team member receives in terms of file storage. So it's right there. I was trying to look at it over here, but um, I had to go down here to see that. So this is where this space right here becomes very valuable if you're trying to get a specific answer. Which plans offers single sign-on? Well, that would be the Plus and Enterprise. As you can see right here, single sign-on. So Plus and Enterprise would be the ones that offer that. And I even got that already from up here because it was mentioned right here. So you knew that it was going to be offered on that one. What do you think of the pricing page layout? Well, I like the four columns here because you can easily compare essentially where you're getting the from free, standard, plus, and enterprise grade. And it is useful to have this down here, even though it does make the page a little long. I think it is important to have a column so that you can quickly compare the different pricings and the different plans all together. So I think the layout works just fine. Like I said, I've seen this a lot of times from most modern websites, kind of like the column layout for pricing and tiers. So I think it works just fine. And like I said, it's nice to be able to see all the features and compare them all so that you don't have to kind of go back and forth on different pages and comparing those. So I think the layout works just fine. Like I said, it can make the page a little long, but if you really want to give the users all the features, then you have to do that. So I think it's fine. Maybe an improvement that could potentially help this is maybe have accordions for each of these sections. So maybe you can just expand it, and maybe that might make it a little easier. But overall, this is not bad, what you have here. Are the pricing options clear? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I see that there is a little asterisk there, and I'm trying, like I said, not to click on anything, but that is helpful right there. That once you hover over this, it tells you that this is $15 per active user when paying month to month. Okay, so that is important to know because it looks like the pricing that you're getting there is per year. So if you did not mention this to me, then I was going to assume that that was a month to month price, but that's actually the price when you pay per year. So see, that's where you need to be a little more clear. And like I said, the explanation here is very important because I thought that that was per month when it's actually per year. So while it is clear for the most part, there is no price for enterprise grade or grid, but that is to be expected because that is more of a custom price solution right there. So I think that it is important that you make this clear for the standard and plus why the price is that. And that would help the users, understand that better. Do you have everything you need to make a purchasing decision? Yeah, I think this page gives me everything I would need to know because you're pretty much giving me the highlights up here of what each tier gives me. But then down here, you're really giving me what each package brings. So that really helps me to make a good decision as to, okay, I don't really need this, but I do need this. And so that helps me to make a better decision. So I think for everything I've seen here, this page does help me to more than likely make a purchasing decision. I think the only thing that might be missing is potentially some ratings and maybe some logos of companies that use Slack. And I think that that will help the user be more persuaded because when you see that a major company, like say like Apple or Facebook, is using this technology, that really persuades the user because you're thinking, well, if that company is using it and they're such a famous, well-known company, then this must be a good product. So I think that that would be something that could add value. Maybe even a video showing the application itself would add a lot of value to the page. How likely are you to use this website in the future? I think I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a 5. I mean, I think overall this page is excellent and the website is excellent. I like how, like I said, you have everything here laid out in an easy, digestible way. The pricing for the most part is clear. I can clearly see what all the features are from the from the page in different tiers. I just think that some small improvements could take this page to the next level in terms of like a video, maybe some ratings, logos from company that use it. And I think that if you put that stuff, this is really going to enhance the page and really make it a lot easier for the user to make a decision. But overall, I did like it. I would use this in the future. And yeah, hopefully that feedback helps you.